because we're going to sell them slaves. Yeah, the Hamites. They're going to be sold Edomite slaves to a people far off, for the Lord had spoken it. Just like how they sold us to Americas and to the Arab lands and to the Asian lands and stuff like that, we're going to do the same to them. The Heavenly Father said so. So if you got a problem with that, then you should tell the Lord that you got a problem with it. Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 30. Therefore, so because they did this, they want to fight against the Holy One of Israel. Therefore shall her young men fall in the streets, and all her men of war shall be cut off in that day, saith the Lord. Once that time comes, you're not going to be protected anymore. Behold, I am against thee, O thou most proud, saith Yahweh, the Lord of the God of the Lord, saith Yahweh, the power of hosts. For thy day is come, the time that I will visit thee. And when the Lord comes, it's going to be very destructive for these Edomites. Because what is going to happen to them? 2 Ezra chapter 9, verse 1. He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, so fighting among them, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. So among other places, where was it mentioned among other places that would, be the signs of the end? Matthew 24 and 3. We'll just read this. And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? Verse 7, Matthew 24 and 7. 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So the disciples was asking the Lord, when is going to be the end of the world? And the Lord answered them and said, you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. You shall hear of people that come to deceive you in his name, calling them him, and they're going on. You shall have wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrow. So once the Lord starts to come close, you're going to have all this turmoil going around upon the planet Earth. These Edomites are going to be fighting each other. These kingdoms are going to be fighting against one another. The people are going to be fighting against one another. They already have it. You have certain segments in America, starting with there, because that's the troubled land. That's a valley of the shadow of death. That's Babylon the Great. There, you have these Edomites fighting amongst each other. You have the Democrats against the Republicans. You have the proud Edomites versus the LBG, whatever color rainbow people thing. You have the other ones that are trying to protect their children from the government, because it says right here, for homeschooling. More Dutch parents consider homeschooling. What do you think? Because they don't want their children, because it says here, choose to educate their children themselves for religious reasons. Why? Because they're trying to teach them kids how to actually commit fellatio in schools. That means suck a dick. So they're teaching the children porno. It's not no sexual education, it's pornography. And you have videos going around how these Dutch teachers are asking the kids about masturbating and do you play with your pee-pee, telling them girls sex is not just for reproduction, it's also for fun and relief of stress. And they're telling little 9-year-old girls this shit. You got little 7-year-old, 5-year-old boys being told these type of things. So these parents are trying to keep them at home. They're trying to keep them at home. They ain't trying to make them go to school and move them lessons. Okay. How the Dutch raise their kids to be independent, whatever. Yeah, whatever. But this was they was doing this recently because it says here 2022. No, 2023 is when they had they wanted to make new laws for homeschooling. Wait, let me see. Because they saw that a big bulk of the people in 2023 wanted to keep their children home and not send them to school anymore. I don't know how the article goes anymore, but hmm. Yeah, I don't know how the article goes anymore. But I saw it a few days ago, so I know it's fresh. And there was the government was bitching and complaining, talking about we need to pass new real laws. They can't just keep the kids at home. Why? Because them Edomites are starting to fight against the government because they'd be like, oh hell no, you're not teaching my children that stuff. So they're fighting against one another, which is a good thing. The Egyptians shall go against the Egyptians, and they're being made stupid, and their wisdom is fallen. You know, the wisdom of evil is not what wisdom. It's just an you know a lot of evil shit. You know, you're not wise. If you were wise, you wouldn't do the evil stuff because you know the Lord's gonna get you eventually. And behold, I am against thee, O thou most proud. Jeremiah 50 and the rest of 31. Saith Yahweh, the Lord of hosts, the power of hosts. For thy day is come, the time that I will visit thee. And once the Lord starts visiting, this world turmoil is going to break out upon this planet Earth, you know. And the most proud shall stumble and fall. These Edomites are the most proud. And none shall raise them up. Nobody will be able to help them. That's why they're trying to make, for example, that's why they're trying to make America great again. And I will kindle a fire in his cities, and it shall devour all round about him. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. They was feeding on us. We was that woman that was wandering without a husband, our Lord. And he let us go because we wanted to be the little beasts that we wanted to be, that we were innately. But now the Lord is having mercy and he's taking us back. But Judah was called Egypt and Israel was called, this is the northern tribes, they was called Assyria and Judah was called Egypt. Were oppressed together and all that took them, I already read that. Verse 34, their Redeemer is strong, the Lord of hosts is his name. He shall thoroughly plead for their cause. What? Sorry, he shall thoroughly plead their cause. That he may give rest to the land and disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon. Basically shut them up, mess them up, you know, shut them up too later on, but then disquiet them because now they are at ease, you know, and yeah, they have a lot of shit to say. But once that time comes, the Most High is going to make them distressed. Terror is going to make them afraid on every side. A sword is upon the Chaldeans, upon their magicians that cast a spell on you. What do you think Hollywood is all about? Hollywood is magic. They're casting spells on you. And not just in Hollywood. Every time you turn on the television, you get commercials. What do the commercials talk about? What do they do? Buy me, buy me, buy me. Wear me, wear me, wear me. Put me on, put me on, put me on. Makeup and stuff like that. Buy me, buy me. Whole fucking day. 24/7. 24/7. Every 15 minutes to every 20 minutes, you have commercials trying to sell you something. Trying to make you eat this. Trying to sell you this makeup, clothing, dress like this, do like this, act like this, so that you can get this type. Every fucking commercials. What do you have? They're trying to sexualize everything. You know, from oxal spray, you know, to with you know, if you spray this for your oxals and stuff like that, you gonna start attracting a lot of girls. So what does that do to suckers? They're gonna buy that perfume because they think bitches gonna like that shit. I have seen girls with stanky ass dudes, my man, stanky ass dudes, and they still happy. You know, not all girls are demons, even though a vast majority of them demons are in America. and England. Don't get it twisted. Those two, but the rest of the places, it's not a lot of. Well, there's a lot, but they're not as worse as in Babylon, man. The Babylon the Great, you know. A sword is upon the Chaldeans, upon these freaking witches, saith Yahweh, and upon the inhabitants of Babylon. That's why they've invented the word. It's a witch hunt, man. It's a witch hunt, because they're trying to scare you away from it, like it's not real, because they know that they're the witches. They're very smart. For example, I'm gonna give you how they trick you into not doing something that they actually want you. They do it. They trick you into doing something that they actually don't want. Wait, let me see. What? Wait, let me say it again. Sorry. They're very good at tricking you into doing something that they don't want you to be doing. You know. But let me give the example. So back in the days, you had people that were against the Christmas thing. So then they invented a little cartoon called Ebenezer Scrooge. So now, when you are against the Christmas thing, you hate the presents and you just hate it, then they're gonna bully you and they're gonna call you Scrooge, you know. And then eventually you don't want that, so they're gonna ridicule you into following what they want, you know. That's what they do. They're very good at that. For example, back in the 80s and the 90s, they used to bully the so-called black female that she had the big butt, rhino ass and rhino butt, and all that there, big nigger lips, all that there. So they bullied you away from it, trying to have it for yourself. So you're ashamed, you're hurt, all that there, that type of shit. And then they turn around and they go by. This devil is good, boy, I'm telling you. If you just look at that devil, you be like, God damn, this motherfucker, he's a smart little demon, man. He's a funny demon, too. He's a funny demon. He's a funny demon. It's a demon, like, goddamn, sneaky little goddamn demon, you know? And then they bully you. And then later on, when you don't want it no more, they take it. Take that. Then they starting to color themselves. You know, they used to call you, dirt skin, shit skin, and shit like that. But now they got the shit skin. As if they hated it. They always loved it, man. But they didn't have the technology in order to make themselves brown. So they hate you. And then later on, they put it on, but they, and then they feel good about themselves. Like, I feel beautiful today. They make pictures and shit like that. They got the thick lips and stuff like that. They inject that shit. Now they love it when they have lips, when they're born with it. I seen some Edomite females born with fuller lips. They fucking love that shit, man. They glorify it. They really happy. They find themselves perfect. Can you imagine that shit, man? Back in the days, they would even cuss out at each other like nigger lips, because the majority of them, they had them little small chimp lips, like a chimpanzee, and like those type of lips that they had that. You know what I'm saying? They still have it around. If you go to East Europe and shit like that, America too, I seen them too. But the point is that they glorify it, but they gonna bully you away from it. So, yeah. So they come up with dumb shit like, it's a witch hunt, man, because they're trying to scare you away from seeing that as the real thing, because it is real. There are witches. That's why when they teach your children to learn in school, they teach them cannibalism, like they teach them books like this, Hansel and Gretel. It's if you think about it, this is some witchcraft, child sacrifice, baby eating, devil shit. Why are you trying to make me read this? That's what the devil does. They believe in witches. You have you have this over here, all that. They're all some witch shit, some witch devil shit. Okay, with the witch and stuff like that. What more? Another fucking witch shit with magic shit and shit and stuff like that. All that type of crazy stuff with the magic and all that type of crazy stuff, right? This is what they're doing. They're faking it, and then they make you think it's fake. And once you think it's fake, it's like the devil. One of the greatest tricks that he ever did is It's make you believe that the Israelites, and you thought I was going to say something else, right? Make you believe that the Israelites are these people. You know what I'm saying? Make you think that they're the Israelites, you know? That's one of the greatest tricks the devil ever did. And he also makes you think that stuff ain't real, like him. He ain't real. Oh, you think? Anyway, this is all magic. It doesn't matter if it's a good witch or a bad witch. Both of them need that fire, that cleanse, and they will, because the Lord will give them that nuclear fire. That's that all-included bath. They're gonna be browner than they ever would be in reality. I mean, than they ever could be. You know, according to themselves, they're gonna be darker. They're gonna be blackety black, like real black. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be real black people in those days. Once that time comes, a sword is upon the Chaldeans, saith the Lord, and upon the inhabitants of Babylon, and upon her princes, and upon her wise men. They're gonna die. That's what's gonna happen to the people of Babylon. A sword is upon the liars, and they shall dote. And what is dote? I forgot. Wait, let me. What was it again? They shall dote. Oh, extremely. Right. Let me get this one. Talk foolishly and senseless, to be silly. They're gonna be stupefied, like, huh? You know. A sword is upon her mighty men, and they shall be dismayed. They're gonna be like, huh? What's going on, man? Ah, crazy. They're gonna be distressed. They're gonna be in shock. Huh? What's going on? Suddenly, they're gonna be upset. A sudden upsetting or surprising what the hell event or experience. You know, they're gonna be disturbed surprisingly. A feeling of disturbed surprise resulting from a sudden upsetting event. In this case, the destruction is going to come upon you from the Heavenly Father. Verse 37. A sword is upon their horses, and upon their chariots, and upon all the mingled people that are in the midst of her, and they shall become as women. A sword is upon her treasures. You're going to be robbed, and they shall be robbed. All the goods that you have, we're going to take that. We're going to take that. A drought is upon her waters, no more prosperity, and they shall be dried up. For it is the land of graven images, all their idols and their magic that they use with these idols. And if you think it's fake, then how come they always teach you out of witch books? They always teach you how to read as a child. You got witch books, you got cannibalism, you got some children sacrificial shit. You got some crazy stuff over there that they have in them children books. Nowadays, they got some crazy sodomite children books, which words I can't even say because they're going to flag my videos for kiddie porn. That's the type of crazy stuff that's in there. You can't read that on YouTube, but they have you reading that. They have them kids reading that by themselves and say, "Hey, there's some crazy stuff, man." I'm telling you. I have some people read those, not even the book, just a few lines, and I was horrified in laughter because I'm like, yo, they die and they killing themselves from within. They destroying themselves from within. It's beautiful. And they are mad upon their idols. Why aren't you helping me, idol? But yeah, the point is that you're going to have... Wait, let me go back over here then. Because, wait, let me see this. Let me read this. Not see this, read this. It says here, Isaiah chapter 19, verse 23, in that day shall there be a highway out of Egypt to Assyria. So let me focus on the highway part. Right, Isaiah here. There, here. Where did I put it again? They will be what? Let me read it again. Sorry. And in that day shall there be a highway out of Egypt to Assyria, And the Assyrian shall come into Egypt, and the Egyptian into Assyria. And the Egyptians shall serve with the Syrians, with the Assyrians, because they're going to serve together. So what it's talking about, sorry, here. It's going to be verse 33. Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 33. Thus saith Yahweh, the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. So we was in the midst of them, because they kept us there in the city, in the land of where all the mingled people were together, like the melting pot. So let me color these things. Wait. They held us fast. Okay, they were pressed together, and they held us fast here. Right. Okay, they held us fast and didn't want to let us go. That's what it's talking about here. But I have more, because if you go to the book of let me see. This is Jeremiah chapter 2 verse. I want to read all this, but I don't want to make it too long. I shouldn't care about that anymore, because hey, that's just what it is, man. I just want to get the full story, because I can go to the point. I can go to the point, but I want to put the juice up in there. Okay, the point is in verse 18, okay? But I'm going to read from verse 11, just to get the juice up in there. Jeremiah chapter 2. I know it takes long, but hey, I'm having fun. I hope you too. Jeremiah chapter 2 verse 11. Had a nation changed their gods, which are yet no gods? But my people have changed their glory, which is Yahweh, for that which doth not profit, which are these idols. Be astonished, O ye heavens, at this, and be horribly afraid. But be ye very desolate, saith Yahweh. He's going to destroy us. For my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters. That's why he sent his son later on to give us that living water again. And hewed them out cisterns, broken cistern at that can hold no water. That's the idols that we use, that we worship until this day, by the way. We used to do it, and we're still doing it until this day. You see, the heathen nations, their gods, the fake gods, the idols, they also have water. But their water is polluted. And also, we have a mind that holds their water, their so-called knowledge, right? But our mind is so full of holes that it leaks out. Broken cisterns that can hold no water. We couldn't even hold their knowledge. A cistern is a well. It's just a well. It's the same thing. Cistern and a well is the same thing. You have groundwater, rainwater. Yeah, you can catch this. Oh yeah, this is the difference. Cistern is for rainwater, and a well is for groundwater. That water that's down here, like this. This is groundwater. It's still rainwater actually, because it rains, and then it soaks up, and then it comes here. So they're both rainwater actually. Yeah. But you actually also have like little groundwater that's just down there, but that's a whole nother thing. So, and hewed them out cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water. So we couldn't even contain their false philosophies. It was leaking out. I'm gonna give you an example. Flying reindeers. If you go talk to this dumbass Negro that celebrates, has a Christmas tree in his house, ask him if he believes in it. It's broke. It's broken. That whole shit is broken. He don't even believe in that shit. Ask him if he believes in flying reindeers. He's gonna tell you no. And then ask him, so why you keep that thing in your house? It's just custom, man. You see? This is an airhead. He has a cistern all made up to soak up their knowledge, their water, but it's leaking. It's no knowledge. He can't contain the knowledge because it's not there to begin with. He just heard about it and wants to follow it perpetually, because he's the fool, a servant, a slave. Verse 14. Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled? The lions, the young lions, roared upon him and yelled, and they made his land waste. The lions talking about these other heathen nations. His cities are burned without inhabitant. Also, the children of Nop and Tahapanes have broken the crown of thy head. No more rulership of us. We're done for. That's why we're until this day we're slaves. Hast thou not procured this unto thyself? So haven't you asked yourself, like, you know, obtain, especially with care and effort? Didn't you get this? Didn't you ask yourself, like, aren't you not basically questioning yourself? Are you not? It means to obtain something, but in this you have also buy the truth and sell it not. Buy the truth. The word buy means to obtain. It means to secure. It means here secure. It means to pick it up. Basically, what it's saying is this: hast thou not procured this unto thyself? Have you not basically? Won't you hold this for yourself, man? Like, aren't you thinking? And that thou hast forsaken Yahweh thy power when he led thee by the way. Aren't you thinking about it? Like, you forgot or something? You can't keep this in your head. Can't you get that through your greasy head? Yeah, that's it. That comes from a movie. Can't you get that through your greasy head? Can't you get that through your greasy head? Can't. Oh, shut it. Coming to America, Dottie scene. Can't you get that to your greasy head? The girl doesn't like you no more. Basically, can't you get it? I'll put the link in the description box if I remember it. Let me put it here. Can't you get that to your greasy head? Right. Niggas ain't getting it. That's basically what is being said right here. Niggas get it. Aren't you thinking? Right? Verse 18. Right, now here it comes. And now, what hast thou to do in the way of Egypt, to drink the waters of Sihor, or Sihor? Or, what hast thou to do in the way of Assyria, to drink the waters of the river? So what our people are doing is, they making themselves equal unto Egypt because they're drinking the water of Egypt. Now you're a goddamn Egyptian. Just like it says in the book of Susan, where it is mentioned that these are sons of Canaan. No, not that one. The book of Susan. You know what? Let me go to the book of the Susan myself because this is ridiculous. Here, so the book of Susan. Daniel was calling them two Israelites. He was calling them Canaanites. Let me see. Where was it again? Hanan. Here. So it says here, Susan 1, and there's only one chapter, by the way. Susan, if I'm correct? Yeah, it's only one chapter. So it says here, the book of Susan, chapter 1, verse 55. And Daniel said, very well, thou hast lied against thine own head. And also the book of Eli, I just remember it. Eli, his sons were sons of Belial. Let me spell that. Here. Right. Oh shit. 2 Samuel's chapter 1. Sorry. 1 Samuel chapter 1. 1 Samuel chapter 2. Verse 12. Now the sons of Eli were sons of Belial. Basically sons of Satan. They knew not the Lord. Were they actually sons of yeah, it was just like you are like if you are of your father the devil, and the things of your father, the lust of your father you will do. Right. So basically spiritually your father is Satan. That's your father, right? Not the Lord. So it says here, and Suzanne 1 and 55, and Daniel said, very well, thou hast lied against thy own head, For even now the angel of the heavenly Father had received the sentence of Yahweh to cut thee in two. So he put him aside and commanded to bring the other, and said unto him, O thou seed of Canaan, and not of Judah, beauty had deceived thee, and lust had perverted thine heart. So is he physically a son of Judah? Yes, he is. But what is he really? Because he's a goddamn liar. He's the son of Canaan. So that was a disrespect to call an Israelite a Canaanite. Hey man, you a Canaanite, man. You know, like nowadays you have so-called black people, when they're angry at each other, what do they? Well, in America, actually, not really here. They don't do it here. I have not really seen it here. If they do it here, they want to be like America, but they're not doing it here. Like, when they're angry with each other, you acting like a nigga right now. You acting like a nigga. I'm looking at you like that's the dumbest shit you can ever say. I know what you're trying to say, but it's still stupid. But basically, that's it. But that's what is being said right here. You acting like a Canaanite right now. Right? Or they should say, you acting like a cracker right now. You know, so you acting like an Edomite right now. You honky. So that's the same here. He was calling him a Canaanite and not of Judah, but he is a Judah. He's a Judite. Right. So it'll be the same thing here, verse 18. And now, what is thou to do in the way of Egypt, to drink the waters of Sahor? Or what is thou to do in the way of Assyria, to drink the waters of the river? Thine own wickedness shall correct thee, and thy backsliding shall reprove thee. You gonna learn today. Know therefore and see that it is an evil thing and bitter that thou hast forsaken Yahweh thy power, and that my fear is not in thee, saith Yahweh, the power of hosts. Right. So, going on to verse 21. Actually, going back to over here, sorry. Isaiah chapter 19, verse 23. In that day shall there be a highway. Oh yeah, I'm going to get to the highway, by the way, because it's already here, I think. Here? No, here, then. Yeah, here. So, right. Out of Egypt, and Assyria. What? And the Assyrian shall come into Egypt, and the Egyptian into Assyria, and the Egyptians shall serve with the Assyrians. So they're going to be our slaves too, but we're going to be, because we're called Egyptians too, and Assyrians, we're symbolically, just like how you can call a Judite, you could call him a Canaanite. If he act like a goddamn Canaanite, you call him a Canaanite. If he's a liar, you call him a fucking Canaanite, you know? But nowadays, they would say, you acting like a nigga right now. Which is hilariously funny to me. It's just funny. But anyway, yeah, it's the truth. So, the truth, I mean, you acting like a Canaanite right now. That's the truth. Because the word black means nigger. So that's why I find it funny. But then, yeah. So who taught you that? The elder apostles. They taught me the word nigger means black. And then I looked it up. And they're right. You have to learn somewhere. And that's why I find it funny. But it says here, verse 24, in that day shall Israel be the third with Egypt and with Assyria, even a blessing in the midst of the land, whom the Lord of hosts shall bless. The Israelites in the midst of the real Egyptians and the real Assyrians, but you have to understand we're in the midst of them. So some of us are drinking the water of Egypt and of Assyria, and therefore you are an Egyptian and you are an Assyrian spiritually. Your mind is all messed up. Whom the Lord of hosts shall bless, saying, blessed be Egypt my people, and Assyria the work of mine hands, and Israel mine inheritance. So who are the people that are blessed of the other nations? It's Israelites that are living as the other nations. And I'm going to read it right here again. So it says, so there was a press together, Judah and Israel were pressed together, and we was all in the mingled place. The mingled place. We was all mingled with the other nations, all in together now. Oh yeah, I'll get to this right. Yeah, evil thing a bit. Okay, Jeremiah chapter 2 verse 20 here. For of old time I have broken thy yoke and burst thy bonds, and thou saidst, I will not transgress. I won't do it anymore. When upon every high hill and under every green tree thou wanderest, playing the harlot like a whore. You all over the place. So every time that the Lord broke our captivity, we said, well, I ain't gonna do it no more. Please forgive me, Lord. And then after a while, we did it again. Verse 20. You can read that in the book of Judges, by the way. Verse 21. Yet I have planted thee a noble vine, wholly a right seed. How then art thou turned into the degenerate plant of a strange